Bombshell, Nunes reveals the Obama unmasking scandal is much worse than previously believed, by Erin Moreno for truthfeednews.com. Chairman Nunes recently conducted an explosive interview where he revealed critical information on abuses of the intelligence community by the Obama administration. He explained that the previous administration unmasked hundreds of private American citizens for what he believes are political purposes. From Full Measure, Representative Devin Nunes, so in that investigation, we've unearthed things that are very concerning. We know that there are unmaskings that occurred and probably were leaked to the media. This is an intelligence products that were put together. The names of the Americans were masked. Cheryl, because it's so sensitive, Americans aren't supposed to be spied on by our intelligence agencies, so when they are captured, their names are, Representative Devin Nunes, are unmasked. Cheryl. Right, masked inside the government. Representative Devin Nunes, and what we found was happening is in the last administration there were unmasking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Americans' names. They were unmasking people for what I would say, for lack of a better definition, were for political purposes. Cheryl, how could they use that information? Nunes, we have no evidence that they leaked this information. Okay, we only know this, that names were unmasked and those names ended up in the newspaper. Cheryl, in a derogatory sense, in terms of political enemies of the Obama administration. Nunes, right, it's like political dirt to create a narrative and a spin with the mainstream media. Cheryl, you reported that you learned early on the unmasking to President Trump and were criticized by a Democrat counterpart of the committee, Adam Schiff, who said you, quote, made a midnight run to the White House where you misrepresented where you received the information. There was an ethics investigation into that and you were cleared, but how would you answer Adam Schiff's criticism that you behaved improperly? Nunes, well, most of the time I ignore political nonsense in this town. What I will say is that all of those stories were totally fake from the beginning. When I got that information, okay, which was not at midnight, I didn't jump out of any cars. That was totally fake. It was all made up nonsense. I went out and held a press availability where I told the press, look, I found this information. It has nothing to do with Russia. I'm going to explain this to the President of the United States because I'm the only one that really can do it. And then when I went and did that, briefed the President afterwards, I went and talked to the press at the White House. So my reward for transparency, total transparency with the media and everybody involved, was to be brought up under a false ethics accusation that has since everyone's learned was total nonsense and it's been dismissed. Cheryl, on the unmaskings, one very tangible bit of evidence that to me looks like a crime is the fact that the U.S. ambassador to the UN, Samantha Power, it looked like she had made a masking request on a nearly daily basis, which is amazing in 2016. It's pretty incredible, yet she reportedly told Congress most of those were not really her. Nunes, yeah. Cheryl, wouldn't that mean somebody committed a serious national security crime if they used her name to request unmaskings of U.S. citizens? Nunes, yeah. So we don't know what the truth is there. I think it's highly unlikely that she was not the one who was giving permission to make those unmasking requests. Cheryl, so you don't believe her? I just don't know how that's possible. Cheryl, that appears to be a serious conflict of interest that the intelligence community, FBI, who are in charge of the investigation, some of these things are implicated in some of these alleged misdeeds. How do you get around that? How can this be investigated fairly when the only prosecutorial authority really rests with the people accused of wrongdoing? Nunes, yeah, and I think what what you're getting into is the FISA abuse. So I think we want to make sure we make that change. The difference there, so there was unmaskings that we unearthed, then there are the FISA abuse that we've discovered. Well, and Susan Rice also went on live TV and said, no, Obama's administration did not unmask. Then we found Susan Rice guilty, and McMaster's let her off, you know? Because she was going to be charged, actually. She lied, and she was going to be charged for this, and McMaster's let her off, gave her security clearance. Last minute, he gave her he let her off the hook because of McMaster. You know, this is a tangled web. That's all I have to say. And to untangle this web, it's going to take a really great a push from the good people on the good side of things, you know? I mean, this is like unbelievable. Once you get them for something, the other ones come in and save them. You see what I'm saying? The corrupt ones come in and save the other corrupt ones just before they're about to go down. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.